Singular value decomposition. I find this the most important thing, especially in AI research, because I'm working on improving optimizers, and if we improve optimizers by just a few percent, entire field, every AI in the world is learning faster. So we need to understand this. And I find optimizers the most important guaranteed way to have biggest impact right now. First of all, let's say you have a matrix A. And when you have some vector going from center 0, 0 to some point, when you multiply that vector with a matrix, it's going to rotate the vector around the center. And it may also stretch or squish the vector. So any matrix can be decomposed into these three matrices, and look at this. This and this matrix are showing the rotation of the vector. So these two are rotation matrices. They are, if you multiply vector by them, vector will be rotated. So those are components of this matrix. And sigma is the stretching or squishing factor. As I said, any matrix, when multiplies a vector, it's gonna stretch, squish, or rotate. And any matrix can be decomposed into three matrices. These two are for rotation. These two rotate if you multiply just the vector with this one or just the vector with this one, and this one is for stretching and squishing. So if you multiply vector by just this sigma matrix, it will stretch or squish the vector without rotating it. And these are the components. U is called left singular vectors, orthonormal rotation matrix. It means it's orthonormal because it's a rotation matrix, so that means that all of the rows, if you look at each row of this U matrix, if you look at each row as a vector, those rows or those vectors will be perpendicular to each other, 90 degrees. That's what orthonormal matrix means. So when you multiply some vector with an orthonormal matrix, it will just rotate the vector. It will not stretch or squish. And sigma. Okay, so this is for stretching or squishing or diagonal scaling. I believe this will also require some self-study, by the way. So you can use this tutorial as a guide to see what you need to self-study. So you need to self-study this stuff more. Let's say you have this matrix. A is equal to 4, 0, 3, minus 5. If we perform singular value decomposition, we're going to get these three matrices. And so when you multiply them, you're going to get this matrix. But this U matrix is just the rotation matrix. This is the stretching matrix, and you see it's diagonal. It only has values on diagonal, while other values are 0. And this is also rotation matrix. So for example, this sigma stretching matrix will stretch the x coordinate of the vector by 6.32 times. Just make it 6.32 times the original size, and y by this size. So if you have a circle, this will turn it into an ellipse. But check this out. This will only stretch directly x and y. But what if you want to stretch on some other direction, not exactly on the x and y axis? So all of the three values that I mentioned before. So first of all, because this is matrix multiplication, we're gonna start from this one. We need to look at the right one as the first transformation. This is because how matrix multiplication works. So imagine that this one is gonna rotate your circle such that the direction in which it needs to be stretched or squished fall onto x and y axis. Then it will be stretched and squished. And then it will be rotated back. So now ellipse, the stretched and squished dimensions are not on the x and y axis, but they are rotated back where they need to be. So now you have ellipse like this, or like this. There is animation of that happening right here. In the beginning, it's gonna rotate the circle. Now you see it's also squishing, which is not good. So this is a flaw in the animation because I generated with the Gemini, but imagine it's just rotating, okay? It's just rotating to this point. So now the circle is same size, just rotated, okay? And then the second matrix is for stretching. And then we rotate again. So now this is our final transformation. You can look again, first rotate, then stretch, then rotate again. That's the part for the singular value decomposition. Now let's continue with Muon optimizer for neural networks, where our goal is to accelerate entire AI field by making better optimizer. This will have huge impact on every company in the world by just researching this. And we don't need to invent anything new. We just need to do a bit of research and help others invent. So this research is the highest impact research, AI research that I know of right now. What Muon wants to do is completely remove this stretching. So it just wants to have V and U matrices. So it's gonna take the gradient matrix, the weight update matrix, which is the gradient matrix, and remove its stretching completely. Just make it rotation matrix. And this is called orthonormalization, where we take a matrix and remove its stretching or swishing factor. So we make the original matrix orthonormal, just like these two matrices are. So in standard optimization like stochastic gradient descent, our gradient matrix is gonna have these three components. And so let's say original sigma matrix that we calculated was this. So what Muon optimizer wants to do is replace that with identity matrix, so it doesn't actually stretch or squish anything. So this is stochastic gradient descent optimizer, and this is Muon optimizer, and Muon is better. It works better, and it's our goal to figure out why it works better. Why does AI and neural networks learn better if stretching factor is 1? That's one of the main goals of our research, and that will have huge impact because we will be able to develop new, better methods. So now the update matrix or the gradient matrix is just this. Instead of sigma, we just have identity matrix. And we have some insights on why it's better not to have this stretching. So in our example, the stretching was 6 times, 3 times. But in real world neural networks, stretching can be million times the difference. So one dimension of the input vector can be stretched 1,000 times and the other can be squished 1,000 times. Then neural network will feel like this dimension is so important because this dimension that was stretched will give huge gradients. So, but this dimension might not necessarily be important. It might just be because because of this number is good, this big. So let's say we are determining house price and we have number of bedrooms and square feet. And number of bedrooms accidentally gets multiplied by just a huge number. And because it's multiplied by a huge number, it seems like if you change it a little bit, the price will fluctuate so much. So it seems very important. Just because the huge number here. Not because number of bedrooms is more important. It's just because it accidentally got multiplied by a huge number. That's why we don't want it to be multiplied by huge numbers or small numbers. So we want to keep the scale same. We don't want to stretch or squish. Okay, this was a bit summary, but you will understand this if you kind of already understand it. So this is a bit of maybe self-study, or just bear with me, let's continue, you'll get this eventually. Actually, Gemini 3 and other models are very good at proposing research directions, research ideas. So I think like AI is quite good at helping to do AI research and other research right now as well. And there was a new physics paper that has its hypothesis proposed by GPT-5. I think AI has advanced to the point where it can be very helpful. I'll show you an example. Let's say we have a total price of the house and we have 3 bedrooms and 2,000 square feet. Now we want to predict price based on so we have some weight for how important the square feet are, or what to multiply square feet with some weight, and we have some weight for bedrooms, and then based on the square feet and bedrooms and these learned weights by neural networks, we should get the real price. Let's say it only depends on bedrooms and square feet and nothing else. Let's say we initialize these weights at 0, although you wouldn't usually, but let's say. Now guess is $0, so the error is 500,000 because that's the difference between the real and the guess. So gradient will be error times input value, but the input value is for the either square feet or number of bedrooms. So check this out. Error, what is the gradient of error or loss with respect to the weights? So it's gonna be, here it's just gonna be 2000 times this. So this is just gonna be 2000 with respect to this weight, because this is 0, it's constant when we are looking for gradient with respect to this weight. So let's see, it's just error times input value. As I said, this is 2000 for this case. So that's the gradient of error with respect to input. You can backpropagate here, do derivation, do the chain rule and see for yourself. So gradient for square feet will be 1 billion and gradient for bedrooms will be 1.5 million. So you see how much larger this number is. And this is just because, it's just because our number for square feet is like a big number and number of bedrooms is a small number. It doesn't mean that bedrooms are less important than square feet. It's just because they are differently scaled. So that's why we have this huge difference in gradients. And Muon is trying to fix this. So this would be the stretching factor. And this gradient is saying that square footage is 666 times more important than bedroom weight. But it's not in reality, it's just we calculated that because the numbers are on different scales. It's 2006. And you know that we will multiply gradients with some learning rate. So with this learning rate, we will update square feet weight by 100, while the bed's weight will be updated just by 0.15. So this is a lot bigger update. So we can ignore this learning because it's learning so much less than it's negligible compared to this one. And they call this rank collapse. So this function says just rank 1 matrix, because this dimension, this rank is not learning at all. So this is the big problem, and that's caused by this stretching matrix, by this huge stretch. So now when Muon is gonna turn those huge stretching factors into just one, you will have some gradients. In this case it's 1, 1, but it can be like, but the numbers will be very similar on the same scale, maybe 1, 2, 0.5. So they will, the updates to both weights will be very similar. There will not be like a million times difference between updates or something, because it will get a scale to the same scale. Guys, that will be it for this video. Join my school to become AI researcher. We have weekly calls where you can ask questions and discover your path in AI research. It's 7-day free trial and then just $9 per month, link below.